So last time we saw that in order to get the best fit line for a simple linear regression equation, we could use these formulas here if we wanted to do it manually. So B1 is the slope, B0 is the y-axis intercept. So let's go crazy and let's actually try to do it manually for our building data set. It's only 7 data points, so it shouldn't take us very long to do this. And we'd better get the same results as the equation shown when we added the trend line to the scatter plot or when we did the slope and the intercept functions in Excel. And as we're doing this, we might also want to be able to figure out how we find that value for the objective function that we're minimizing. So if I go to the data, what I've done is I took the data here, copied it over onto a new worksheet, and I screen scraped these formulas so that we wouldn't have to try to remember or go back and forth in order to get this. So one of the things we see we need immediately is x bar and y bar. Remember, x is stories, y is height in feet, and so it's just the sample mean is what x bar is, right, or y bar, so, which is just the average. So x bar is 46.2857, and then I ought to be able to autofill this over. For y bar, it's 613.4286. So now we can start to work on this first equation. I'm going to work first on looking at the numerator. So I'm going to do x sub I minus x bar. So x sub I is the actual x minus x bar. We've calculated down here. I'm going to hit F4, and then I ought to be able to drag that all the way down. So that's that first thing inside parentheses here. Next, for the next set of parentheses is y sub I minus y bar. So y sub I is the actual, the C2, minus y bar, which we calculated down here. I'm going to anchor it, and then again I can autofill that down. So then we need to multiply column D times column E. So column E times column D times column E. And then add them all up. And that's the numerator. So that's the numerator for B1. Yep. Let me go ahead and label this. This is x bar. This is y bar. So to get the denominator, let's do that. To get the denominator, we need x sub I minus x bar, square it, then add all of them up. So I'm gonna skip a column. Have x sub I minus x bar, and I'm gonna square it. Okay. So we will do actual stories minus 46.28 and square it. So we can do that all the way down, all 7. I didn't anchor B9, so it doesn't like that. So let me anchor B9 and then redo it. That looks better. Yes. And then we're adding all those up, and that's the denominator for B1. So then to get B1, let me do it down here below B1. I take the numerator and divide by the denominator, and I get 9.449185. Alright, that's what we got for slope, and that's what we got over here. So we did something right. Then, so this is B1. 1 equals, make it pretty, And then B0, the intercept, is equal to y bar, which we already have, minus B1, which we just calculated, times x bar. And we see that's 176.066, right, which is what we had before. And let's make that pretty. So doing the manual calculation, we see that we get the same results that we did either looking at the trend line, adding it to the scatter plot, or using slope and intercept. So that gives us some understanding of where this is coming from, at least. Right? So again, we would never ever actually do the manual calculation on our own. We have a computer to do all the other stuff for us, and we have built-in functions for Excel. But I wanted to show you where it came from and all that fun stuff.